Let's see if this works. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Lazy Mini Painting. Hello, I am Laz, and it's Models and Musings number 113. Oh, so it's been 2 years, over 2 years. I've been doing this a long time, haven't I? Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're all alright. Anyone who's in, anyone who comes in, please say hi. I'm always happy to make new friends, as long as you're not an ass. Even then. Who knows? Oh, it's weird. I've moved the chat box over. I'm gonna have to do YouTubey things that I've forgotten about as well. I also need to go set up my wet palette, which is something that I should have done ages ago. But I'm doing it now. I'm doing it with other things. I'm putting that in my history. Turn the beep off. That's always a good idea, isn't it, to turn the beep off? Professionalism, you think I'd do that by now, but apparently not. What I did do, however, is put my portrait mode camera on, ready, and turn myself down so I can see both chats, which I struggle to do if I don't do that. Good evening, Alison. Good evening. Thank you for A, telling me about the fact that I'd put the wrong title for tonight's stream, and B, for coming in. No worries, I'm already in portrait mode. I go in there now. I know how to. It's a pain in the bum because I've got to have it from my phone, but yeah, it works. I'm trying to get wet palette wet. It's easy to do without the paper on. But when you left the paper on and it's dried, it kind of sticks to it. And there's enough water in there to do it. It's just a case of getting it to soak it up. Some people sit and have patience to let it do it naturally. I, however, do not. So I squidge and splodge and yeah. If it's not getting wet, I'll sit there and prod at it until it is. No, never mind. Good evening, Francois. Good evening. You're about to have a nap? No worries. I've been told I've been good for ASMR. Well, thank you for coming to join us. I hope your projects have all turned out fruitful. I know Silvers has been posting some stuff, as has Twisted. Twisted even posted a YouTube video. I think he did. Oh yeah, he did. That is Space Wolfie model of the month thing. I say that, it looks absolutely bloody fantastic. It does look a bit good, can't deny. Now, if I can peel some of this paint off, I'll be quite happy because then I'll have more area to use. What I've got to try not to do is rip the bloody paper. There we go. That kind of helps out a little bit. Now we have more area to use. So we can reuse paper. Haha! Isn't that awesome? Yes, only something small though. Definitely have it. Full stomach definitely helps you get to sleep when you need a nap. Right, so going from last week when I painted up Lazghul, which I did most of the work in fairness. I did quite a fair chunk of it. And go for go for something you would classify as small. A small woman may be able to tire you out more than you realise. So yeah, last week I pretty much painted most of this, but it's missing quite a something archy, a something extra archy, and that is dags and checks. First of all, I need to decide where on earth I'm going to put the dags and checks. Yes, small women can be quite fierce. And then how am I going to finish off a lot of the other base? Do the tea leaves, which I could do. Usually want one with quite a firm tip, Ali. When it comes to brushes, you want one with quite a firm tip, even if it is small. I can do the joke too. Hee hee hee. So dags and checks pretty much needs a white background first, and then sketch on the paint wherever I'm going to do it white. Sketch on the squares or the triangles, and then paint the black base black. Jesus Christ, man, that's ridiculously small. First of all, we need white. And then we need a brush that we're going to be confident enough in to paint a white area. Oh, where do I want to put white? Where do I want dags and checks? Uh, yes, certainly someone only activated in 2 dimensions, Ali, rather than 3. I've just broke a bit off the back. I'm going to have to glue that pipe back into place. Oh well, never mind. Right. So I've decided one of these, this plate is going to be one of them. Also, this knee pad. So that's where I want the checks to be. Oh no, I wanted checks somewhere else, didn't I? Where did I want checks? I wanted checks on one of the guns. Well, I wanted checks on the gun. Where did I want checks on the gun? I was looking at it earlier and I did want something. Shit, that little shiny bit there, was it? Okay. So, while that dries hopefully in... Oh no, that's going to take an extra coat. Just because of the black that was under there as well. There we go. So now while I wait for that to dry, what I'm sketching where I'm going to put all the decks, which are essentially triangles. Do I want to put some... now I'm thinking of it. Yeah, I do. I want to put some checks down here as well. Never mind, I'm just going to have to go for scuffed up a little bit. I'm going to have to try it at the top, and this time, try not to get the bullet hole. That's quite a large area for checks. And now I have my area for dags. My hand isn't the steadiest tonight, so maybe art glyphs is the better thing to be painting because you don't have to be 100% steady with them. Orcs aren't the best artists in the galaxy. neaten them up a little bit so they are actually there. Good evening, Buzzard. Good evening. And hello, SLS Kai. Hey, to join us. I was just about to do the weirdest part of painting. We're about to actually do some drawing with a pencil. Hopefully, place to dry anyway. And the white's starting to stand out a bit more. But I'm going to draw in the checks rather than trying to completely freehand them. I'm going to cheat. Well, you can say cheat. I can say, my hands aren't having this bloody steady, so I'm going to do this instead. And it helps me keep them all the same-ish size. Ish. I never said guaranteed. And now do all the ones over in his knee. Good evening, Lee. I'm missing. Nah, no. Don't do that. I thought I was missing some. Give me the ability to scroll, or it looked like it was. And there only needs a single dividing line. And essentially 6 squares. It's back here that's going to need quite a lot. And keeping it in line is going to be an absolute pain in the rear end. This is like doing bricks level of concentration. Is not good. This is highly messed upable. But we should go at it anyway. We need black. We need to not completely mess up. That's what we're hoping for anyway. Where is the black? There is the black. We're very black and white tonight. Monochrome. But believe it or not, is what this model needs to make it brighter rather than having colours, because it's got lots of yellow, it's got lots of green. It needs, it needs the few arc embellishments that it was missing. And one of them is these little daggers and, well, painted on triangles and black and white squares. Oddly enough. It is very odd. I don't understand it myself. Have you popped? Oh, you have popped over. I guess dangerous. Although it gets even worse if I get people in one chat encouraging me one thing and people in another chat encouraging me to the other. Then, yeah. It was the battle of the chats. And I don't want to be in the middle. Sadly, I will be, though. I still don't know if portrait chat pops up in full chat, in the other chat. Or if the other chat pops up in portrait mode. Which is sad. But it does pop up both of them in the box thing. If I can make that thing pop out and bigger, that'll be excellent. But no. Doesn't bloody work like that, does it? So yeah, that's the idea behind checks. Essentially, yes, I'm essentially piggy in the middle. Well, while live anyway. I mean, I can just not be. As I said, this is a complete dictatorship, and I choose entirely what I do and do not do. I'm a human being. I have free will. I have choice. But that being said, if it's not an unreasonable request, and it's certainly crossing my mind, and intervention happens from the other side, and essentially it's little devil and little angel sat on your shoulder, both of them very tempting, that's an entirely different thing. Especially when one of them tries to manipulate my significant other into doing things that are absolutely daft. Like going glamping, for instance. You're eyeing up the Caribbean now for that. Is that for honeymoon, I assume? Okay. So we've moved up a grade. We're not going glamping. We're going to the Caribbean apparently for our honeymoon. Oh, well, we may be. Yeah. Sparkles is eyeing it up. Price. A bit pricey, yeah. I thought it might be. What's the European equivalent? There we go, the Canaries. That was nice. Nice little yellow birds. Matches armour. Oh, I could take some models with me for painting. Yeah, she's looking at it. We ain't getting it, Ali. Don't worry. Well, not at this rate, anyway. Okay, does that do what I wanted it to do to make the model stand out a little bit more than I wanted it? Yes, in certain areas. Certainly down that side. I think this side is actually missing something. I think it might actually be checks on that panel there. That one there. See, not complete on the front, mostly yellow still on the front. But, yeah. So let's go back to white and repaint the panel. And then wait for it to dry and then draw on the little squares. Yay! I'm getting used to this now. Thank you very much, Ali. I'm slowly getting used to this. While I'm waiting for that to dry, is there anything that I need to do for the little dudes down at the bottom? Yes. And a bit on the arm as well. I need to brighten up the arm in the Death Guard green, which is what I originally wanted it to do. So that's going to be the arm. Gretchen's. The head. Slight bit on the head. Yeah, them eyes. Do some red. Where am I going to put red in it? Apart from the eyes. I could put red in the hammer. I know it's got a little tiny bit up there, but still not perfect. It just needs a little bit more red. I don't want to put too many more colours in there though. I don't want to put too much red in it. But it does need just a little bit of red. I'm going to need some Death Guard green. Because of all the colours I can't find, it's Death Guard green. I've got about 19 bloody pots of it. Why can't I find one pot? What? Just one? There it is. Ah, I found one. So I'm still waiting for that white to dry, making sure it's dried properly. I don't want to be having grey squares and stuff on. And ideally on the wet palette I won't be able to space this out a bit, so when I come to use the dry brush, I'm not taking all the paint. Pardon me. I'm not taking all the paint at once. In this case, I'll go for the slightly smaller one. And dampen the brush. Clean it off a little bit. I definitely need a drink. And leave it there to dry off a little more. I need it damp, not wet. I'm so glad you're mature. You're all mature. I am. Okay, back to drawing little tiny squares. That'll do. Close enough. I don't think I'm going to get any better than that right now. So now let's paint all the black ones. Start with that one. And that one. And there should actually be one right in there. Right in there. One. There. One there. One there. One there. There. And finally there. That is one very messed up checks, but it counts. Now for green and dry brush time. Brighten his bloody face up a bit. Because they're all a bit flat. Or at least I think they're a bit flat anyway. Obviously you can't forget the poor little dead dude. He was in the wrong place, the wrong time, got kicked in the head and stood on. Poor little guy. Good job there's 3 more of them. Good evening, Twisted. Good evening. Not quite had the effect that I would have wanted it to on the arms, so I'm gonna go for a bit of raw. I think a bit raw. makes loading up the brush slightly more reliable and less watered down because of the wet palette. So let's have another go at some of the muscles. Go on, show us your muscles. And that should help the Gretchen be a bit brighter and less flat. I hope. So, what was that? That was a piece of base. That's not good. All this should have been locked down with a stupid amount of super glue. That is a chaos helm, isn't it? You know, well, think about it, and I'm looking at the base, I just noticed there is a chaos helm there. Can I be asked? Can I be asked painting it as a world eater? Giving it a little pink of red that I wanted, but I know damn well what I painted my world eaters like. Or do I paint it as more? I'll paint it as Black Legion. Okay. It's easy to paint it up as a basic Black Legion. Paint it black, trim it gold, eyes green. Done. Yes, you are right, Ali. However, this Wednesday I will not be streaming because personal things to do. But I will be covering the magazine at the next available point that I have for streaming, which I think may be the day after. I think, maybe. I may end up just scheduling 2 streams and just having them like one after the other essentially. I'll do the magazine and then do Sparkles and Oak. Immediately after. Yep. The glow on the other 2 wall suits. Ah, god dang it. It keeps going. Yeah, that glow on the other 2 war suits is going to be... In fact, that entire army is going to look pretty bloody nice once it's fielded. Not saying it'll look as good, but there's a certain side of me that wants to just throw shed loads of combo berserkers and I'm going to think that's it. Because it sounds like it would be fun. Do I think I can line that properly? I don't think I can. if you're carrying on the way you're going, then yes. Whether or not you have it ready for your tournament that you wish to play, that's a different matter. But if you continue along the way that you wish to go, then yes, it's going to look absolutely frigging amazing. Morgan Val with 6 suits all painted up to that standard. That is pretty spectacular. You do have work on other projects to do as well. However, you've just finished one, which is nice. I need a very bright red for eyes. I hate eyes. I really, 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 really hate eyes. Too much. Oh well. Too much is definitely enough, isn't it? Well, that's one way to look at it. Too much is definitely enough. So you go into the tournament, but you're not actually playing your entering the painting comp. Which I'm assuming is going to be Morgan Val. At least. Or the white is strong with this one. See, this is why I hate eyes. Oh, I'm going to use Twisted's excuse. Not excuse, because Twisted went back and fixed it to actually make it so they were glowing. But I'm going to say that they're glowing, instead of the fact that my hand's not steady enough to... You got that one fine. You got that one okay. Just some of these down here, it went nope. And the sororitas rhino. Oh, okay. You do, you do. I cannot stop you. Nor do I intend to. Just want a little bit of bright green to do the lenses of Space Marine, or the Chaos Space Marine. And then at least his helmet down there is done. They do break it up quite a bit, don't they? Black Templar's Ballistus Dreadnought. Ballistus Dreadnought's a nice model. I've got to say, but I do prefer the dual clawed variant of the new dreadnoughts. They could have quite easily have shoulder mounted or give dual range and dual melee options to the Redemptor Dreadnought. And then that would have been fine. But no, they couldn't do that. I'm still not sure what to do with some of the base. See, I'm thinking I should actually PVA glue little bits around here and still put some of the tea leaves on it for undergrowth, and that way I can leave this more as rock. That's cropped out. I do like wussing out on painting bases, don't I? But I'm definitely going to have to do something about the colour of this head of this axe. It is no longer chaos controlled. It is now Arcu controlled. So I'm going to use a corner of the sponge and get some nice spongy bits. I'm going to sponge around the head and the bits that I want to have this hopeful effect. Which is of course going to end up being a desecration of both the Chaos weapon and the Emperor's weapon as it falls to the power of Gork and Mork. That's my idea anyway. Whether or not this works, we shall see. Well, that's the idea behind it anyway. Victor is also going to glow as well. If it works. If it works. Not a problem, Twisted. You go enjoy your food, and I hope your wife is well because you weren't feeling well, I don't think. But I do get to try new stuff, yay. Right, where's Coelho? Yeah, that one. The new wash that I like using, I can't remember what it's called. It's Coelho Green Shade. That's what it's called, but it's not. It's Coelho God Shade, and it's there. See? Say it enough, think about it enough, and it turns up. So, over those nice whited areas, I'm going to wash green. The white's not dry. The white wasn't dry. So let's try that somewhere where it might actually be dry this time. But it should work. I've just got to make sure the white's dry properly. So now if you look at the head of the hammer, if it doesn't get too bright, you can see that the Arctane has started to even corrupt the Chaos head, and he's going to do the same with the Imperial head as well, turning it, empowering it via Arc energy as opposed to Chaos energy from the Warp or the Divine energy from the Emperor. It's filled with pure Wah energy. But I've got to make sure the bloody white dries properly. Isn't that fun? It's great. It's wonderful. And that white did not look like it was drying properly at all. Not one bit. I also think I will PVA the base. But at least partially. And use the tea leafy mixture to base it off. That does kind of put me in the position where I've got the tea leafy mixture. I might have to make more tea leafy mixture. I'll find more little rocks. One of the two. But yeah, I'm going to have to find something like that. So. Waiting for paid to try socks. And that is excellent timing, that Ali. I will also be right back. Can I chat on here? Yes, I can. If it'll let me. Right, okay. So yeah, I will also go for a break to make a new cup of tea, and among other things. So we're putting the rogues down, have a break up again. And going to Arias Nation. And then we have the Starbound full album that will be coming on shortly. Please enjoy. We go for a break, do whatever you're doing, and we'll be back soon.
Every street, a forgotten stage, echoes drifting past the age, broken truths that we can't erase. Constellations mark this place. We're not the saints they thought we'd be. We're chasing ghosts they'll never see. Every secret, every fight, we were You folded notes in the shape of stars, left them hidden in my car. Every word was a lifeline then, but the paper's wearing thin again. I swore that I would never break, but promises are hard to take. If love was built on fragile things, we're just flying on paper wings. Paper wings won't hold the sky, but we still try. We still try. Every fall just feels the same, but I still call out your name. Your voice still lives in a melody. Every chorus haunting me. Torn apart by the words we chose. Every story comes and goes. I swore that I would never break, but promises are hard to take. If love was built on fragile things, we're just flying on paper wings. Paper wings won't hold the sky, but we still try. We still try. Every fall just feels the same, but I still call out your name. We were fire, we were flame. Now it's ashes in the rain, but I still do it all again, even knowing how it ends. Paper wings won't hold the sky, but we still try. We still try. Every fall just feels the same, but I still call out your name. I still call out your We were running just to stay alive. Every second left us chasing time. Hearts on fire, no turning back. Racing shadows down the tracks. Every step we're burning bright. Every wrong still feels like right. We can't stop, we won't fade. Every scar is what we made. Falling faster, can't rewind. Where the echoes left behind. Every moment slips away, but we're alive today. Empty streets where we used to hide. Broken dreams that we can't deny. Every word.
Welcome back, everybody. Didn't turn it on. Turn that off. Turn that on. I don't know what I'm doing. I've lost everything. Anyway, I'm back now, I think. Yes, I am back now. I've also pulled out the glue. And something that I hope is going to be able to spread it about a bit. Which is good. Well, first of all, that's white should have dried, so we can go back to the green, you think? Aha. Quite the green shade. Quite a lot of it. To show the Orky dominance over both Imperium and Chaos. That is the idea behind it. So even though these weapons once were used in human hands for both good and ill, they are now used in Orcish hands to just have a good fight. Which is what they was truly made for. Even the sign for victory has become corrupted. Did I miss anywhere? Yeah, I did. I missed this tiny little bit back here. I'll add a bit more to that victory. Just to help it go extra green. You're back now too. Welcome back, Ali. Now, it's PvEing time. I'm not looking forward to this. So, I know I'm going to need a bit there. A bit there. A bit there. Possibly a tiny bit there. Tiny bit there. And that. And that. Hopefully that should be all the areas. Because I don't want to cover all of it with PvA, just a fair old chunk. Right, I got a spready thing. Because although there are lots of rocks on the ground, there is also lots of shrubbery, or at least fallen dead debris and leaves. Amongst the rocks themselves. And if anyone didn't say shrubbery after I said shrubbery, then I'm madly disappointed. Only mildly, and that does include Sparkles as well, but she already knew that. I would be mildly disappointed that she wouldn't do it after me. She said it in her head. So she says. I don't even think she likes the bloody films. I don't even think she could. Say again? You do? Sparkles likes the films. Which one was it from?
Was it from the Holy Grail?
It was from the Holy Grail. Certain set of nights. You demand one. Ni. This is correct. This is the Knights of Ni. Who demand a swab away. I can't remember what they changed the name to become the Knights of or something. I can't remember that bit. That's just them going off on one of their weird little what the hells. But it's also the one with the killer bunny and the holy hand grenade. Right, that should be plenty of PVA spread out now to put on to the base. Ooh, it's nearing completion. It's nearing completion. Bit more drying. Just to get the weapons done. And what I might do is in the lighter places I might actually go for more of a standardish green. Right, is this base in any way, shape or form going to go into... No. Right, am I going to have to do this the old fashioned way and do it like that? Yes. Which means I have a very high chance of getting this absolutely bloody everywhere. All over my desk. And I'll be finding it for weeks. As I said, I don't want to completely cover it in that because there are some stony areas as well as the grassy areas as well as places that are covered in metal chunks and things. And look at the state of that. Now I've got to sort this out. And the brush got caught in it. That's not good. But this is the advantage of having a piece of paper here to do it over. I can just scoop it up and get rid of anything I don't want it to go in there, like that big chunk of paint that came off the wet palette. And I can just shuffle it all back in again. Nice and easy cleanup. Put the piece of paper back. Put the lid back on the tea leaves. So he's still the brightest thing on the entire model, but it does brighten up the base a little bit apart from the... I'm going to have to lock that in with PVA and alcohol. Not much of an issue. Not much of an issue. I do want to change the colour of this metal plate though. I do want it to be a little rustier and dirtier. So I think I will be getting, if I can spot it and find it, one of the only few that are that bloody shape. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the other one? I only have 5. That wasn't it. Not in there, it should be in here, but I've got a feeling I've used it quite recently. Where are you hiding? Bronze. Where's my bronze colour? Is that a bronze colour? No, that's like Belcher. No, that's how colour it already is, and I want that one. Is that a bronzy colour? Nope, that is mud. Ah, that is bronze. We have found it. Took me a second to realise what you're talking about when you said fair play sparkle. Well, fair play sparkles, you don't even talk. And you were talking about the saying in a head as opposed to saying it aloud. That's what he was talking about. Took me a moment. Right, let's get a bit of this bronze. And I want to sponge it on as opposed to brush it on. That way it's not as bright and brash about it. Although I am going to use it to dull down some of these silvery places. But it is a bit bright still. I mean, I could do that with an Agrax Earthshade wash. But this keeps the metallic-y shine to it. I am fairly happy with Lazghul Thwakka. There are bits going on at the back. There are bits going on at the front. He is not badly painted at all. I'm going to put him to dry and see what I think tomorrow, because I think he's finished. I may decide completely opposite and decide to paint the rocks, but I'd say he's finished. But it is still October. Oh no. I need to paint an arc. I need to paint an arc. I need to paint an arc. Do I even have any arcs to paint? Do I have a single arc to paint? I do. I do have an arc to paint. It is a little bit smaller than Lazghul Thwakka. And it's not quite as deadly as Lazghul Thwakka. But it is most certainly an art to paint, but it does need repairing by the sounds of it. Yep. So the first thing I have to do is repair it by putting the shoulder pad back on. And by clearing the tea leaves off my desk. Always fun. Tea leaves put away for basing for now. Now this goes on here. This means they're actually. Oh, wait a minute. Is that even the right way around? Yeah, that's the right way around. Which means there are about 3 join points. Okay. So we've lost one of his shoulder pads already, so I need to take care of that first. There are about 3 join points, I think, now that I'm looking at the model. And it should be those 3. Should be. But we'll find out. If I've got it right or not. I've not even based this damn thing yet, have I? Ah, crap. Sparkles is in the room. I've got models all over the place. I could. It's not. It's too. Is it too late? Is it too late? I'm getting the nod. It's too late. Brush it is. Luckily, I did wash some of my dry brushes, so these are actually going to be quite good for basing brushes as well. So, yay. While that's drying, I need a Baden Black. I need a fair old amount of it as well for doing this. I've got a base coat with Death Dread. And by a fair old amount, I mean I'm going to need a fair old amount. Because I was doing it by brush. And that's not always the easiest option. Especially when your brush picks up loads of water and getting rid of it is a pain in the ass. Although, again, you still want a slightly wet brush when you're painting. Even when base coating, you want a wet brush. Ah, I forgot that's not finished gluing yet. Supposed to do this side first. So just for bulk things, I'm going in and going over with this nice big brush. When it actually comes to getting the finer places, I will be coming back in with a smaller brush. Just that larger area covers, but it's easier. Why doing 9,000 built in 6 strokes to what you can do in 2? As long as things stay in bloody place. It does not wish to stay in place. I might be a bit harsh on the model, quite possibly. No, it is not a spider. It is a Death Dread. Imagine a 4-arm stomping machine that has no other purpose than to hit things and crump them into little piles of mush. Providing it can't shoot them with its one rocket launcher that it's got before it gets there. But really, he don't give a crap if he hits it with a rocket launcher. That's just there for noise. What he wants to do is get up close and crump you with his big crumpy weapons. And that is Death Dread. Very nice chaps. Just don't go near one. If they were ever real. No, they're having a great time. They think it's fun. And if you can fight back, they'll love you for it. I mean, if you can give them a proper good scrap, they might even leave you alone. Let you live. That's what happened to Yarrick. He gave them the best fight they've ever had in their lives. They ended up capturing him. Beat him up, they tortured him, couldn't break him. So they gave him all his stuff back and sent him back out into the galaxy and said, right, go prepare. We're coming back eventually. So off he toddled. Waiting for his next op. Well, off he toddled. I think he joined up with the Black Templar Crusade fleet and went hunting Lazghul Thwakka down. But yeah, he was a good fight, so they let him live. Because good enemies is hard to fight. And Lazghul worked that out. And Yarrick was a good enemy. So when supposedly Angron killed Yarrick, I say supposedly, I don't think it's actually been. I don't think it's been 100% confirmed. But there are certainly rumours out there. Lazghul was not best pleased, because Yarrick was his enemy, and no one else had the right to kill him. I've got a feeling Lazghul and Angron are going to go on a big fight, and pretty much forever, because they both just get stronger the more they fight. Or at least Lazghul does, so he'll be up at the level of a Primarch soon enough. To justify the size of his bloody model. Because yes, although he is a big killing machine, he is not a big tanky killing machine. Not as tanky as some of the other models are his size. Especially when it comes to stuff like Angron, Mortarion, the Lion. If he's supposed to be coming close to a Primarch, then no. He needs better. I think GW do him dirty at the moment. That's just my opinion. I don't have a Primarch in my army of Space Marines. I have a proxy Primarch, which, if I was to ever get the actual Primarch, would become a Demon Prince. Still called Angry Ron, but it just become a Demon Prince rather than Demon Primarch. Winged Demon Prince, of course. Basing up the next model. Basing up the next model. Takes absolutely bloody ages. Basing up the next model. Especially when Sparkle says, I can't use the airbrush. Can't use brush. No, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time I've had to use a brush to base a model. But still, it's a fucking death dread, and it's a pain in the ass. What I should have done is based it this afternoon. But I didn't think I'd actually finish Lazghul to a point where I think, right, he might as well be finished now. I'll see how he dries and have a look at him. Well, I've got to do something while I'm waiting for that, haven't I? So let's base a model. It's going to be October for a while, so I might as well get some of my Archie units done. I've got to repaint the shotgun dragster as well, actually. I need to give that a proper clean off. And the custom booster blaster. And soon I'll have a Rucker Truck Squig buggy. If all goes well. And they don't mess up my bloody order. Well, not my order, but don't mess up sending the one that comes through every bloody week. Look, if you guarantee the sale, you sell it. But they can't seem to get that bit right, can they? I think what essentially they want me to do is they want me to be a week ahead. So that is a paid for sale, not a walking in sale. You don't trust people at the word anymore. In fairness, I worked retail for a long time, and the amount of time people say, yeah, I'm definitely coming back for that, and then buggered off out and never came back again. I can understand a bit. I'm going to have to wait for that shoulder pad to dry. You son of a... I want to at least get the next bit sorted for next week. I'll come back to you in a minute. Before I do that, I've really got to clean this brush out, otherwise it goes really hard and horrible. And it is an absolute pain to clean. These have already got black paint on. These aren't my good ones. These are my medium ones. These aren't my green ones, but they're not my good ones either. Although I do need to spend some money on clothes, I think. You going to bed, Ali? Good night. Thank you for coming in to join us and for all the work you do as a moderator. Thank you very much. Right, that should be that okay until I can get it the actual thing it needs. Right, you go over there and dry. You come down and hopefully you have dried now. Not completely with washes. That is a shame. Good evening, Joe. Good evening. Oh, you're feeling alright? Now, I want to go back over those. White dags. Just to brighten them up a little bit. particularly in the areas where the paintbrush was. I also want to get it before any infecting tea leaves change the colour of the bleeding paint. Okay. He's looking reasonably alright now. It's been a very fibro Thanksgiving. Oh dear, that does not sound good. Hopefully you are feeling a little bit better now. I have finished Lazghul Thwakka. He now has dags and checks and a base and things all over him now. I'm glad I got a lot of and a bit more colour on the metallic section down at the bottom. And he's killed the Black Legion person, so he is nice and done. Now, I do still have, as I said, certain models which, in this case, needs a lot of bloody cleaning. Jesus Christ, that needs a lot of cleaning. But I do have the Arc Shock Dragster, which is already started. Now, I did paint it red because it was a Shock Dragster and I thought that's what I should do. I'm beginning to think now I should go back over that and paint it with yellow. But before I do that, I'm going to get the biggest of the dry brushes and give it a damn good dusting over. So when I do come back to give it a yellow paint job in a minute, it's not completely messing it up. Now this red paint job I did do with an airbrush. But as on the very spur of the moment idea, I changed from red and blues to yellow. I'm now going to paint it yellow. So I'm going to get a Avalon Sunset. And a Hingby brush. A brush to get the sunset out. And now paint all the areas that I've painted red, apart from the rockets. I'm going to paint yellow. Let's start with the back spoiler. Now I know in art culture red ones go faster, so red was probably the correct colour for me to paint in because it is a vehicle. Yellow is still a nice colour. I'm doing Avalon Sunset first, so that I can highlight and dry brush with the much brighter yellows afterwards. They shouldn't be quite as bright and sunny and shiny as the leader. He's the brightest and the biggest and the best. Now, luckily, the only thing I really need to do with this is change the panel colour. If I can do that, I'm alright. He says if he can do that. Again, archy paint jobs don't have to be the smoothest, but they do have to at least be the right bloody colour. And having the red undertone is obviously turning this slightly orange. Not necessarily a bad thing, I can leave that in the deeper recesses and it becomes more of a highlighting colour. Again, adding depth and layer to the model. By cheating. Great. No worries, Buzzard. You enjoy your brew, mate. See you when you come back. Does also mean rocket trucks with buggy and our bikes need to be done like this as well. Beginning to wish I painted in red now. But he's not answered the head of a speed war, because otherwise he'd be on a Death Killer war track. He's just the head of a war with a lot of machines. Which does mean I should have a mech. A mech would be nice. Well, quite like that yellow. Right, next. Some of this might take a few coats because of that red undertone. I think I did it with army paint to speed paint as well, so it's possibility it may be reactivating. Which again is not wholly a bad thing, because if I know about that, I can redo it on the other vehicles by doing them a very light dusting of red first. And then coming back with the yellow afterwards. Next side panel. And then I'll just leave the main body after this. Changing clan colours sucks. Problem is I can never make my mind up properly with orcs because they're all fun. The ones that generate teeth so fast that they're always rich. Pretty much the ones that I've gone for, I believe. Always got the best Dakar. Always got the best. No worries, Joe. You enjoy your supper, mate. But once I've done this yellowy bit, I believe I might go make some of my own. A slight variance in the reds and the yellows and the oranges as they're coming through does seem to be quite nice. But looking at that orange at the back is going to need a much more of a coat than what it currently has. I have also found a game that has reignited my spark for gaming. And this is the first one, it's a sequel that's out as well. It is a game called Ghost of Tsushima. Or Ghost of Yotai if you're playing the sequel. And that's a good game. I'm enjoying that game. It's given me the same buzz and the same feeling that the first few Assassin's Creed gave me. Very nice game indeed. Nearly there with the conversion over from red to yellow for the shock jump dragster. Start with that big thick layer down there. Let's move it across. Being careful around the wheels. And now that we've not got a big brush filled with loads of paint, we come back and start doing the more finer areas. Like around the skull. And in front of the engine block. Don't forget to clean your paintbrush off every now and again. Does help. Gets rid of drying paint off your brush before it becomes a nuisance. Now I'm going to leave the rockets red. Even though you can't actually see the rockets are actually red. I'm going to leave them red because, well, the rockets and these arcs. The rocket needs to get there. It needs to go faster than anything else. So of course they're red. Just all the areas you've got to get around the front here that are actually yellow. You don't realise until you're going at it with a brush. But there are damn sight a lot bloody more of them than you realised. An airbrush is one thing, you just kind of aim it in the areas that you want and then you just go, yeah, that should do it because you sprayed all the painting where it needs to go. With the brush, you're paying a lot more attention. So you're actively looking for bits. Like little spikes around the front probably would have gone unnoticed by me. If I was just using the airbrush, I would have just sprayed the area. I would have noticed them, but I wouldn't have paid them as much detail as I've just done then. No, around the front axles. Which I am now having to do. Brushes do have their advantages. It forces you to look from a different angle and a different perspective than some of the other painting methods. I'm not knocking them, it's just stating what I think is the advantage of brushes. Don't get me wrong, I would have loved to have done it with an airbrush. It would have been a whole lot fucking quicker. But I couldn't. Sparkle said no. Too late. Could have done that at the beginning of the stream. I didn't know I was going to be doing this at the beginning of the stream. If I'd have known that, then yeah, probably would have. So that's now looking considerably more yellow. Not as yellow as him, it's looking more orangey, but we can resolve that once it started to dry by dry brushing some of the brighter yellow. The problem is we can't dry brush while it's wet. Somebody's going, no shit, Sherlock. Yeah, I know. Not daft. That's why I'll sit here and wait for it to bloody wait for it to do it. And then go at it with some dry brushes. See? I mean, not as daft as most of you think I am. Some of you do actually realise how daft I am, so I can't say that completely. But yeah. Some of you don't realise how daft. Yeah, I'm not as daft as some of you think I am. I don't think. Maybe. I might be. I don't know. Oh, I want a bob and biscuit while I'm waiting. Bob and biscuit packet is eluding me. It says tear here, and the tear here is like halfway down the packet. But it's not actually the tear here. Tear here part's lying to me. I thought I saw the little bit of a red thing that comes off. Apparently I did. Nope. So close. I was so close. Now I can't eat the full packet of biscuits because they should be dry before the end of that. Well, that's my hope anyway. Bright, bright yellow. I don't think going from that red to that bright yellow would have worked quite the same. Oh, although we're still going to need bright yellow. We're going to get rid of a good chunk of it off the brush first. And try and just bring it up gradually in certain areas. Where it's all possible. Kind of got a bit of a Tonka farmer truck thing going on with that orange. That orange yellow. Don't know how many people remember the old Tonka toys. Mostly construction vehicles. They did have a rather distinct yellowy colour. JVC or JCB use it a lot now. Thomas, I am. Yeah, yes and no. Sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit stressful. Especially when things don't go according to plan. But No, most of the time, yeah. I find the painting therapeutic. I just need to focus. It's the focus that I struggle with more than anything else, which is why you're all here to help me and keep me on track. Like you're supposed to be doing this. Oh yeah. So my shock jump dragster is looking very, very, very orange. So no, I'm gonna instead stipple on the yellow in the brightest areas that I want it. You gotta see, Tonka toys rocked, especially when they used to make them out of metal. Although I did have a friend who threw a metal dumper truck at his brother's head. Needless to say, that didn't go down too well with his parents. And they weren't allowed to Tonka truck anymore. So stippling yellow definitely makes it a brighter yellow. Definitely makes it a brighter yellow. And having the arcs already done helps as well. Are kind of already done. They just need the dry brushing now for the of the Death Guard green. But my water is filthy. My brushes need cleaning ridiculously so. And that is looking like quite a nice shock dragster so far. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the back though. Whether I should try inks, I'm not sure. Stipple. What a great, yeah, stipple is an awesome word. Now I know it's got some kind of shock powered gun. Or it's shock attack powered engine. So they're going to have to be bright weird colours. Along with a lot of the gubbins back here. That's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. So we have 2 projects to work on next week. Although I have to work on one of them before next week because it's just going to be easier with the airbrush, isn't it? Base coating the Death Dread. And having this as a guide to go off is quite nice. So, I finished Lazghul Thwakka. In all his majestic art glory. There's a shock jump dragster to go with him. I just need to do this Ruck Truck Squid Buggy, the Bikers, the Death Dread, Stomper, and Knobs, and the Warboss. Basically everything else that needs to go into the Stomper with him. All the stuff to fire forward. Stomper comes up, stomping up behind. If you pop the Stomper, everything gets out. If you don't pop the Stomper, it gets to you and everything gets out. And then everything goes splat, 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 splat. Stomper is just a very, very big, expensive transport for my Ark army. That is all it is. That is all it is. Very, very big, expensive transport. Couldn't do a lot. So, next week will be Death Dread and Shock Jump Dragster. Obviously, Shock Jump Dragster is further along, but I want to work on the Death Dread as well, so it'll be a lot of the metal and the yellow paneling next week for that. See if I can replicate some kind of similar effect to the Shotgun Dragster. However, now that I'm watching it dry, the orange is coming through more and more and more again. So even more yellow may need to be applied to the Shotgun Dragster. How wonderful. Biscuits are very nice, by the way. So, one last biscuit. While I'm on stream and I'm thinking, and people can, obviously, Thomas and Joe and anybody else watching can give me ideas. Yeah, do the yellow first. Sort out the car. Then do the orcs that are in it. And they only really need a dry brush with Death Guard Green. And then the custom booster blaster is completely untouched, so it needs a lot of work into it. A lot of work. What biscuits? They are bourbon biscuits. They are bourbon biscuits. And I'm not supposed to show my biscuit problem online. So I'm only allowed to eat so many while I'm online. It's a shame. But I have a plan for next week anyway. Which is, well, finish the base coating of the Death Dread first of all, and then the Death Dread and Shotgun Dragster for next week. I put in a good you. No, it's fine. Ideas about what biscuit to eat. That is always a good idea. That's an excellent idea. But an even better idea would be for me to go sort myself out, so I'm ready for tomorrow because stuff needs to be done tomorrow. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thomas, for coming in towards the end. I'm sorry you're so close towards the end, but thank you for coming in as well. Buzzard, obviously anyone who's joined me on Patreon, AB as well, thank you very much for that. And anyone else who's come to watch, thank you all. Hope you've had some kind of interesting evening, at least past a couple of hours, without it feeling like a complete waste of time. If you want to do the YouTubey stuff, please feel free. It's all down there. Everything's changed wherever I put it. There it is. Yeah, so drive safe, enjoy yourselves, and look after each other. See you later.